The state's road funding formula remains a complex issue. We'll examine that. Plus, Carrie Schneider has this week's report with our friends at the Du Bois County Humane Society, and Christine Golden discusses programs at the Jasper Library tonight on Inform. All of that and much more is up next here on the 18 WJTS News. Hello, I'm Bradford Raths. We begin tonight with a Huntingburg woman behind bars after she ran her car into a ditch while driving drunk. A deputy with the Du Bois County Sheriff's Department says at around 7:10 a.m., 21-year-old Tabitha Klein was traveling northbound on Duff Road Southeast when she ran her passenger car off of the east side of the road and into a large ditch, hitting an earth embankment. Authorities say Klein's vehicle then continued north in the ditch and off of the roadway, traveling for a short distance before coming to rest. Klein was taken to Jasper's Memorial Hospital to be treated as she complained of pain in her head and neck. Now, while at Memorial, deputies say Klein tested with an alcohol level of 0.14%. She was charged with operating while intoxicated and was booked into the Du Bois County Security Center without incident. Though many issues got resolved during this past Indiana General Assembly, road funding over the long term is still a hot subject of debate. Of course, this past legislative session was a budget year, and lawmakers wound up with a major increase in education funding that they were seeking, but road and infrastructure funding was some $200 million less than what had originally been sought. Because of that shortfall, many state lawmakers are now pointing to roads as the top issue in the 2016 General Assembly. Now, at the crux of the issue has been finding a long-term funding formula for roads rather than using dollars out of the state's general fund, as is currently done. District 63 Representative Mike Braun is on the House Roads and Transportation Committee. Braun says the formula discussions will continue through summer study committees and into next year. He says the funding formula will also need to take into account regional road projects like the Mid-States Corridor. Braun says in the end, it will still come down to a collaborative local effort to move everything ahead.
We've gone from the phase of trying to make the point that we need a good road so that we're not marginalized over time between 64 and 69 to now how do we actually get a portion of it into pavement. And that's going to be where our two mayors, our county council, industry all speaks up to how we are going to collectively pay for part of it so that we just don't keep talking about it and we actually get something done.
Now, Indiana's gas tax revenue for last year came in at $527 million, a drop of $55 million from 2004 figures. The state funding problems have extended to the Du Bois County Highway Department also. In recent months, County Highway Superintendent Steve Berg has appeared before the Du Bois County Council to ask for needed funds to replace various equipment. He says that the $200,000 would have been available had there been enough state funding to keep his department running. Berg also proposed earlier this year an idea of his own for fixing the state road funding formula.
We talked about possibly indexing the gas tax where that would be an inflationary thing built in, whereas as the price goes up, that helps kind of offset. You know, when the price goes up, people are going to buy less gas. Well, then it would offset those revenues lost by that indexing type of thing.
Berg says he discussed that idea with state legislators prior to the end of the 2015 General Assembly, which happened in late April. And speaking of state lawmakers, a pair of our senators have been chosen for interim study committees this summer in preparation for next year's legislative session. District 47 Senator Aaron Houchin and District 48 Senator Mark Messmer will both serve on multiple Senate interim committees. Houchin will serve on interim study committees for commerce and economic development, elections, and public safety and military affairs. Meanwhile, Messmer will serve on the interim study committee on public policy, along with the advisory commission on intergovernmental relations. Of course, lawmakers are assigned to the interim committees for the summer and fall months. There are 20 such interim committees this summer, focusing on issues ranging from agriculture and natural resources to education to elections to roads and education. The topics for summer study are assigned by the Bipartisan Legislative Council, which is made up of 16 voting members, including 8 state representatives and 8 senators. For more on interim committee agendas and hearing streamings, you can go online to in.gov/IGA. And finally tonight, this year's Ferdinand 175th celebration is in the books, and winners for Sunday's parade have now been announced. The best walking unit went to the Forest Park Dance Team, with the Forest Park Band in second. Knies Sawmill was honored with the Equestrian Award, and Ed and Betty Roos's 1961 Cadillac was honored as the best antique vehicle. Meanwhile, the Santa Claus Fire Department took home top honors in the new emergency vehicle class with their 2010 Ferrera pumper truck called Rudolph. The Ferdinand Knights of Columbus won the best float honors, while Mike Lindauer, along with Francis Lindauer and Sons, won the best antique tractor award with their Kitten steam engine. The Lindauers' Kitten 8-barrel water wagon garnered top honors in the antique farm equipment category. Finally, the Huntingburg Fire Department's 1942 American LaFrance fire truck Betsy won in the antique emergency vehicle category. As for the overall awards, the Judges Award went to the Schnellville Sesquicentennial hat. St. Ferdinand Church's entry was the Queen's Court pick, and the Community Spirit Award was given to Cy Lodakai. Now, you will be able to see the Ferdinand 175th Parade in its entirety tomorrow night on 18 WJTS. That broadcast gets underway at 7:30 following our 7 o'clock newscast. 18 WJTS will also broadcast the Ferdinand 175th Queen and Little Miss and Mr. pageants this evening after the conclusion of this 7 o'clock broadcast. All right, coming up after the break, Carrie Schneider is next with our friends at the Du Bois County Humane Society, and more on summer programming at the Jasper Library. We're back after this.